All right, what's up everybody? Today I'm at Powell Lake and I'm here doing some winter birding. It's starting to snow, it's freezing cold outside, but here are some tips for birding in the freezing cold winter. All right, so the first tip is to learn winter birds. In most areas, there are specific birds and special birds that will come into your area during the winter. So make sure you study which new birds are showing up in the winter, as well as which birds are sticking around. It'll make birding in the winter so much easier for you. Second tip for birding in the winter is to actually put up bird feeders if you have them. During the summer and the fall and the spring, there's plenty of food for birds to eat, but during the winter, they're more likely to visit your feeder because there's a less abundance of food. So putting up feeders can help you see new birds and sometimes really rare birds as well. Another great tip is to pay attention to your footwear during the winter. Winter's often really cold, it's really wet, sometimes it's frozen. So you want shoes that are well insulated as well as waterproof. And then socks, wool socks are great if it's super cold, keeping your feet warm. You just want to avoid cotton because that absorbs the water and can cause you to be more cold. So make sure you pay attention to your footwear and pick out some good shoes for winter birding. All right, the next tip that I have for you during winter birding is to pay attention to the weather. There's a lot more extreme weather in most places during the winter, so you want to look for snow. You want to make sure that you're not getting yourself into something that you can't get out of. Make sure your vehicle can get to and from the location that you're going to, but paying attention to the weather is important so you don't get stranded somewhere while you're just looking for birds. It's not worth it. The next tip is to make sure you layer. Make sure you wear extra clothes. You can always take layers off, but make sure you have different layers. Your base layer should be something that dry fit, something that doesn't absorb water because you sweat during the winter. It's also important that you have waterproof jackets. Now don't follow my example. If this gets wet, I'm soaked for the rest of the day. I'm going to be freezing cold. But if you're going on a long birding trip, make sure you wear waterproof jackets as well. It's very important to make sure you drink water during the cold months that you're out birding. Your body actually uses more water when it's cold than when it's warm. So most people forget to drink water during the winter months. But make sure you're drinking plenty of water and eating plenty of snacks as well. Snacks are also important to keep your body fueled and healthy as you head out into the field. The next tip that I have for you is make sure you wear sunscreen. I know that's kind of redundant, but during the winter months, it's really easy for you to get burnt, especially if there's snow on the ground. If there's snow on the ground and it's reflecting off of, the sun's reflecting off of it into you, it's much easier for you to get burnt. So make sure you cake on that sunscreen and take care of your skin while out birding. The next tip I have for you is make sure you enjoy your surroundings. There might not be as many birds that you're used to seeing during the spring or fall migration, for example, or even during the summer, but it's important to just look around and enjoy yourself. Look at the snow, look at the other animals that may be present and easier to see. It's way easier to pick out things in the trees because there's no leaves, so make sure you enjoy your surroundings. All right, the next tip I have for you is make sure that you explore unfrozen bodies of water. During the winter, water is essential for birds of prey like the bald eagle looking for fish, but other birds that rely on water as a food source. So make sure that you're going to bodies of water that aren't frozen, and you should find a lot of birds there actually during the winter. So it's a good place, actually probably the best place to go birding. The last tip that I have for you is look for clumps in the trees. Since there's no leaves on the trees, it's much easier to pick out birds perched up in the trees. Birds of prey are really easy to see because they're so large, but also owls are really easy to see as you're looking up into the trees and looking for clumps. Just remember good birding ethics to make sure that you stay a safe distance away from the owl and birds of prey, that you're not stressing the bird out, but it's a great time to find birds that you might not be able to see when there's tons of leaves on the trees. Thank you so much for 500 subscribers. We just hit our goal before the end of the year, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope to see you all next time on Bright Eyed Birding.